So we've been on the theme of tax policy and specifically how the government utilizes it to incentivize taxpayers to behave exactly the way that they want us to. We talked about this with housing. We talked about this with job creation. We've talked about this with relocation to other countries. What I want to talk about specifically is the new tax policy around auto loan interest deductions. What this means is that in 2025, if you purchase a vehicle that was manufactured in the States this year, you're able to deduct up to $10,000 of interest on that car. This is available for any taxpayer, so even if you don't have a business. And the reason why this is being put into place, again, if we go back to our topic of policies are here to incentivize us to behave a certain way. The government, the US government, wants companies like Ford, companies like, I think Ford is the only US manufacturer I know, I'm not going to cap. GMC, Ford, GMC, Dodge. The government wants those companies to be able to sell more vehicles. Along the same lines as tariffs, they want those US companies to sell more vehicles. Now, you're probably thinking, that tax policy is not going to stop me from getting my Mercedes GT63. It's not going to stop me from getting my Honda Accord, all right? That's you. You're a car fanatic, right? It's like you're a fan of the brand. But for the majority of taxpayers, if you bring them two options and say, hey, you can either get, I don't know, what's a good comparison where it's like one's US and one's not? Ford Bronco, or you could get a Toyota 4Runner. I don't even think they're like they're even in terms of kind of the size, but they're both SUVs, so let's go with that. You could either get a Ford Bronco or a Toyota 4Runner, and if you do get the Ford Bronco, you're going to save about $10,000 multiplied by your tax rate in savings. Which one do you think most individuals would choose if they knew that option was available? Would they take the Ford Bronco that is going to give them a tax deduction of $10,000, or would they take the Toyota 4Runner? Let's assume that they just want to get a vehicle that is an SUV that has a wheel behind it and that can take them from point A to point B. If they have that elasticity, it's an economic term that says, hey, like they're very sensitive to price changes and we're going to include the tax benefit into the price. If they're very elastic to tax changes, they will for sure take the Ford Bronco for that tax benefit. That's how tax policy is leveraged for the government to obtain the behaviors that they want from their taxpayers.
To this day, I'm saying what if I could turn back the hands of time? What if? What if?